Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all
video.
right, all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world. Okay.
Oh, they're doing a little better this week. You got your cool headphones on. You got the mic set up.
I
You're not
got
just
the headphone. I got the mic. You know, I got everything going on
shit,
here.
man.
Yeah.
Just not used to seeing the background anymore.
Oh, I know. I guess I could put it up. It's been kind of a long day, so I didn't.
I saw you were out and about.
I'm all over the place today.
How'd it go?
Yeah, it went great. What
was this one?
This one was content marketing.
Okay.
And we had I don't know, there must have been like 100 people there, I think. 100 entrepreneurs and you know, I think something like 10 or 12 of my students there. So it was good. It was just all about you know, Laura Dunkley, who's been on the show, did a whole bunch of stuff around, how to plan for content marketing, like all the things that you can do.
Right.
And then we did a case study. So we literally took apart a brand that, we helped start from scratch, and just like pull insights on like, how do you test for an audience? How do you test messages? How do you figure out what works, what doesn't work, all that kind of stuff. Right. So,
Oh, super cool.
Yeah. So it was pretty cool.
Super
It was pretty
cool.
cool. Yeah. So
Oh, look at you.
you know what? These are, it's a bit of a continuation of us kind of loving entrepreneurs, right? Like last week, we were talking about how much we love entrepreneurs and little businesses. And, what Kenny and I were talking about tonight, me and my kids and Laura Dunkley, who we heard on the show.
Your students.
Yeah. The
Not the kids.
not my
kids.
children in the house, but my students. Yeah.
The other kids.
We were at the session, Content Marketing 101 for entrepreneurs, right? The city of Mississauga hosts these things, and Laura Dunkley, who's been on the show, hosts them, and so I go and help her out. And we talk to entrepreneurs who are setting up their businesses, figure out how to do content marketing. So it's really cool. I mean, these guys are all, they're just doing amazing. There's one guy there. He, I can't give him a plug because I don't remember. He's going to email me. You meet all these people, but he does children's books. When he does them at book fairs, he sells something like 400 or 500 books at a time.
Really?
Yeah. But when he gets online, he sells nothing. And so obviously he's a little frustrated because he's like, I don't get it. Right. Like, what am I doing? And I said, yeah, like, it's probably just like you've got to figure out how to turn, the message that you deliver in real life into digital,
So what is that then? Is that, okay, because I'll ask you like in a very naive way. So obviously if the guy's out selling 400 or 500 books live, he's obviously a large part of why someone's buying the books. So the thing is, the beauty, I guess, of the online world today is that it doesn't have to be static like a store shelf.
No.
Why can't he have maybe more video on his page where the same thing where I get to see him? Like if you just saw Patrice's product on the shelf, it's nice package, but unless you're really needing that, you're not going to follow it. Once you talk to her, you're thinking, oh wow, this woman's
holy crap,
got her shit together.
This lady.
Then once you see her and talk, and then you get, so you get the facials, the expressions, and then you're thinking, holy shit, man.
Yeah, she's the real deal.
Cool. So maybe the guy's the same thing. Obviously he is a massive part of the selling, like massive.
Yeah.
You go from 500 to 0.
Yeah.
Buddy,
but that's the thing, right?
Is bow. Yeah,
you're
better looking than we are. So apparently, but people like looking at you and like talking to you. That's
I know.
And run.
I know. And so we said to him, look, if you kind of like, content marketing is a weird thing, right? Because if you take away like this technical terms and content marketing and blah 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 blah,
because you guys all say that, and then nobody knows what the hell you're saying.
Nobody knows. But and it's online, like you read all this stuff and all of it's gobbledygook. The truth is, it's not different than if you like when you're an entrepreneur. when you get an idea, you test it, right? Like you test the idea, you test how you sell it, you test how you make it, you test everything until you find something that works, right? And so like when you're doing socials or digital media or content, it's the same thing as you've got to go and you've got to test it, right? So the same principles that you apply to making the product, you got to apply to the way you communicate with people online. The best example I can give is like when you do an elevator pitch. You know, when you build a new product and you build an elevator pitch like, this is the coolest thing since sliced bread, right? And usually the first 5 reactions you get one person going, what is it? I don't understand, right? And then the second person's like, oh, I totally got you, man, right? And then you keep refining it until like the 6th person you go, I totally got it. I can do this in 30 seconds or less, and they totally understand what I do. So you got to find the process for doing that so that you can do it in socials, right? So this guy,
video. Let's say that it's really not something that can be like the content part. Because I think when people think content, maybe it's because I'm just old. When I think content, I think writing, I think reading. Yeah. Content could be video. Content could be like a cool story. I mean, it doesn't have to. You know what I mean? It's not just a cool caption that describes it sort of well. It doesn't have to be written. Like he could actually talk. Like a video could be good content for him, right? Like where he could say, and maybe people don't even give a shit if he writes anything on his page. That as soon as they see him and he talks, they think sold. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Sold. I get now I totally understand what you're doing. And that's the beauty of today. We can do that. Right.
Yeah. I mean, and there's all sorts of, I said to him, do you have a podcast? He goes, no, I don't have a podcast. I go, do you have audiobooks? Right. Because maybe your mediums aren't Facebook or Instagram.
Maybe
like maybe what you need to do is get some audiobooks out of your kids' books. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then that's something that, like it is that process, right? Because I said to him, so when people come to your table, do you know who's going to buy and who's not going to buy? And he goes, yeah, I do. And I go, so you have to figure out what that data, whatever data you have, like the hardest part is because everybody has a different selection process and everybody has a different way of recognizing it. But if you know who comes to your table that's going to buy the books, like it's, I don't know, a mom with 2 kids or, a mom with 1 kid or, a mom with a boy or a mom with a girl, like all of those, whatever those funky combination, whatever the customer combination is, you have to figure out how to do that online. So if you're advertising in Facebook and it's not working, maybe it's also that you don't belong there, or maybe it's Instagram, or like you kind of need to test like every variable, just like you would in your business, till you find.
But what people are like when you say that though. What the hard part is, the intimidating part is, well, but what am I supposed to do? So I test Facebook, it doesn't work. I test Instagram, it doesn't work. What do you want me to do now?
Yeah.
I mean, I go to Twitter, and it doesn't work. And then you're thinking, well, shit, man. Like, I mean, that's great. I mean, I don't mind testing, but now we're back to the time thing. Like, what am I testing?
Yeah.
See, you know what it is? I'm just old, and I just want the answer. I don't want to do all this shit. I want you to tell me what to do. That's it. I don't want no long story. Tell me what you want me to do. That's what I'm going to do.
I mean,
isn't that how we are?
But it's hard though, right? But it's hard. Like digital marketing. If you take like everything off the table, digital marketing is hard that way.
Yeah.
Because just like you want to customize for your customer, you are customizing the solution for you.
But at least it's cheap. Like it's not like the old days.
Cheap. Yeah.
You can't test TV. You can test news. I mean, you could test it, but there's high cost. I mean, like you said, at least if you test Facebook. So I guess I always go back because I'm trying to relate it back to the bar and to the coffee company, whatever else we do. Yeah. So, you're going to test some cool pictures and some cool content on Facebook, and we're going to see what happens. Mm-hmm. But again, that content doesn't have to be a static picture. Mm-hmm. Maybe we find out that a cool video. Yeah. Maybe it's Dom being interviewed or myself being interviewed, and maybe that's sort of resonating. So maybe what we find out is, you know what, guys? It's obviously coffee and it's about the coffee, but people really like the personality behind it. Mm-hmm. Or we find out they don't want to see those 2 clowns ever again, and it's got shit to do with them. Just sell us the damn coffee, and that's okay too. Yeah. But again, I understand the testing, but I think you can appreciate the frustration of a lot of your audience because they're sitting there. Yeah, you guys are all saying the right things. The challenge is we don't know what the fuck you're telling us to do.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
Test this, test that, test what?
Yeah. So it's really funny because we actually walked through, so when you test, so you start with the premise, right? So you start with a hypothesis. You always start with something, right? So
you have to, right?
Yeah. So you start with a guess, right? You have to have a sense of humor. You're going to miss a whole lot. And
For
then,
sure.
But when you hit it, you have to take it apart. Everything is about the data, right? So it's almost like you tested a really cool picture with a really cool slogan, and you got some great hits. So what you have to do is take your success and take it apart, and then test the picture with a different slogan, and then test the slogan, with a different picture, right? Because then you want to know, was that a lucky guess, or am I on to something, right? Like,
right.
Am I picking the right pictures, the right kinds of pictures? And then once you do that a couple of times, you go, hey, you know what? Like, the pictures are on point. I'm getting the right number of impressions, the right number of clicks. Then you go, all right, check mark around the picture. I'm going to keep a standard of what that should be, right? Like, like in the coffee bar, maybe it's like, there always has to be a cup of coffee in the picture. Otherwise, nobody cares, right? So then you go, all right, so gold standard is there's a cup of coffee somewhere in the picture. Yeah. But now I'm going to mess around. I'm going to screw around, but what I notice now is everyone clicks on the picture, but no one goes to the bar, or no one clicks on the bar's website.
Right.
So now I'm testing different words. I'm testing actions like, come check us out at the bar, or click here to see today's daily special menu, or click here to get a latte for free, right? And so, like, that's how you kind of, it's really like product testing. So for anyone who's listening that is struggling with content, you almost need to pull out all the digital marketing words and just say, I'm concept testing, just like you would with a product, right? Like with a product, you test it. I put blueberries in it. Does it taste good? It tastes terrible. Take out the blueberries, right? Put in cherries, substitute, and so you're doing the same thing online. Is you're going, great, I know how to pick pictures, check mark, right? But now I got to find an action word that makes people do what I want them to do, which is when I say click here, I want people to click here. So what's the thing I put in front of it? Like the action that says, we're super cool, or and that's when what you're kind of testing for. So when you find a combination of those words, that's kind of your perfect storm that starts to like drive customers in. So once you find that, that's the hardest part, because then you take all of the things you learned there and you start blowing it up into bigger things. Like, hey, you know what? Like, everyone loves a picture of a cup of coffee. So now maybe what I should do is derive a lesson out of that of, how do you make a perfect cup of coffee? Because maybe that's what fascinates them. You know what I mean? Like, or, you know what I mean? Or what's the perfect cup that you should you should be putting coffee in, or, things like that. So, you
can make a story sort of around, if the cup is the appeal, maybe make stories around the cup. I guess you can understand the frustration. So
totally,
I'm sitting at home, I got a new product, and all I read is that, you know what, the old mediums didn't work because what they did, they put it on TV and a newspaper and a magazine, and you never knew if anybody came in. And now this digital world is going to solve all the problems, because we can talk to individuals and we can go right down to the basics. People are saying, okay, that's cool, so I'll do that. I'll just go on Facebook, because everybody's saying it's easy. It's way easier than the old days. And they go on and they do their thing, and they sit and they go, okay, well, where is everybody? I did what you told me to do. I put a nice picture. I put nice words. And I'm thinking, well, shit, you said that the other's way we couldn't measure. Well, this one I can, and I'm not measuring anything. Like, what am I doing? I mean, you're right. So, I guess that's when you have to say, okay, your first product never works. It's the 50th or 60th or 70th iteration that works. But I guess that's not what I guess the challenge is. And maybe this is where we got to go back to sort of even educating people. That's not what everybody says, or says even in a lot of ways, in social media. Social media is the way to go. That's where you advertise. It works. We can read. We can grind down. We get the analytics. So if you're on the other side and you don't know much about it, what did you just tell me? Fuck, you just use social media, man. It works. So then you're sitting there as a guy thinking, no, bullshit. What works is when I'm at the show. That works. But how come I can't get it online?
It's There's a couple other things you can do. I mean, so one is like if you're, the other thing is like for that guy, right, is we said to him, you have to look, there are some small hacks that help you in this process. So you just need to work the networks a little bit. So in the same way that, like, so let's take this book guy for instance, right? He goes to, you know, a school gym or wherever a book fair happens, right? And he sets up a table. The part that helps him already is that he is part of a book fair where there are parents and there are kids coming to the book fair.
Okay, that's okay. So pull back 1 second. We're going to do this step by step.
Yeah.
So he's got an audience that is already sort of bought in.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm on Facebook. I'm the book guy.
Yeah.
Right. I know moms are on Facebook.
Yeah.
So I'm going to set up my little world to talk to those same moms. To just they're not in the show. They're at home.
Correct.
Right. So you're doing the same thing.
Yeah. But the same thing. So what he's doing right now is he's saying, I know moms and kids, so I'm going to make posts that I think moms and kids will look at. Right.
Okay.
But what you can do one step further is you can replicate the book fair by finding groups on Facebook where moms and kids are talking about books, literacy.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, so
because what happened? You were hoping for people to come to you, as opposed to going to the people, which is what the book fair is. You went to the people.
Correct. Yeah. Right?
And so they didn't come to your house. They came to a book fair.
Yeah.
It's not because of you. It's the book fair that brought them in.
Correct.
So go to the online book fair.
Yeah.
And the same folks who were at the show are probably there.
Yeah.
Now that they know you're there, you've got odds of
it's a much higher odd rate, right? Yeah, and so it's a bit like, so that is, you know, if you're listening to us, like, it is, social media is kind of like that because everyone goes, oh, you didn't do anything. But it's kind of like, you know, when your kids set up a lemonade stand on the side of the street and like some people walk by, some people don't walk by, you know, if you're in a busy neighborhood, you score well. If you're not in a, you know, you start going door to door asking neighbors to come out and give them 50 cents so your kid makes some money, right? Like, so in the same way, he was at a book fair where people were already coming because they were expecting to find books. He literally took his digital table and stuck it on the side of the road and went, well, I'm saying all the right things. Why are they not coming? Well, because
you weren't on the busy street. If you put the lemonade
street
stand
where they were looking for books, right?
Exactly. Like, so if you put the lemonade stand on a street with no traffic, what do you expect to sell?
Yeah, right.
If you put the lemonade stand next to the baseball diamond,
correct,
during the tournament, well, no shit, Sherlock. Okay. See that, but that makes sense. But that's not. See, and in fairness to the simpletons like me and many others, that's not the message that we sort of ever get.
You don't hear.
The message is go on Facebook, go on Instagram. It'll save your life.
Yeah. No.
And you do it and you're thinking, what the hell? There's nothing going on.
Yeah, it won't. I mean,
it can. You shouldn't say won't. It can if you do what you said.
Yeah.
Right.
It's definitely an economical way to test, right? Like, you know, I talk about this all the time, and I think the kids are, my students are tired of hearing it. But I say, like, in the old world, if I made a marketing message, I got one shot at it. I threw it in a magazine. I'd have to wait 3 months for the magazine to publish, print, circulate.
Exactly. Hopefully the topic's still relevant by then.
You know, hopefully it's still relevant. Hopefully I didn't fuck up the message, right?
Yeah.
And then hopefully I get enough data back that tells me I'm on the right track. But you could literally,
that could be
like, as a marketer, you could do this for 3 or 4 years before you realize you're a bad marketer.
Exactly. Well, because at the end of the day, 6 months down the road, a year down the road, what are you looking for? Like, seriously, what number are you looking for?
Yeah.
I don't know who read the magazine. I don't know if they saw the ad.
No. Yeah.
Which store did they go to? Is it? I mean, if let's say I didn't spike nationally, but I spoke in Guelph.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Did the magazine get? I mean, you know what I mean. To grind down in the old days. Oh my Lord in heaven.
Yeah.
But it was a crapshoot.
But now you can. The benefit is if you get that stuff right, you can start to test, and you'll know in a week, right? Whether the message you have, the images, you know, the crafting you've done is right, but you do need to you need to kind of do what I would say to people is start the same way you would start with your actual business. So remove the digital blah, 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 whatever, insert your term here, and then just go, okay, how do I replicate what I do in real life? Right. So for that book fair guy, it's, you need to find online, a mommy group, mommy, Reddit, right? Like Reddit is a great place to go where parents would ask lots of questions about like, what are the best books for kids to read at grade 5 or grade 4 or grade 3? Like places like that are really great places to start, because now you've got an audience that is your audience, right? You're not
and
trying
the fact
to
that they're asking the question and are looking probably to purchase or things. It's not even that you're hard selling.
Yeah.
Hey, correct. Phil, I know you're a dad and looking for books. Yeah. Here's some of the books that I have. Why don't you check on my website? I'll be at a book fair in London. I think that's where you're from next weekend. If you want to attend, if not, check out my webpage and I've got some cool stuff. I guess at that point, if you're on Reddit or any of those party places where the moms and dads are and they're looking for books, they're not going to be upset that you're selling them books.
Yeah.
Like you're helping.
They're looking for you.
Because that's why I was there. I was there to look for it, or I wanted to find books. Okay. You know what it is? See, Phil, the challenge is always the same, right? It's really hard because that's not what it says. If you watch the news tonight, that's what it tells you.
No.
So I know the guy's frustration because he's thinking,
totally.
I have 500 books at a book fair. I don't do anything different.
Yeah.
Outside of the fact that
how come I can't do it online?
I'm going online. The whole world's looking at me.
Yeah.
Well, apparently nobody's looking at me.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool because Laura did like, here's the big picture. Here's like, here's what content strategy looks like, and here's all the pieces you need. And we went, okay, before you get there, here's how you start to pull apart the pieces that you need to, the Lego pieces that you need to start with. Because usually, everyone goes exactly what you said, right? Which is everyone goes, oh, it's so easy. I should be able to do this, right? And then there was one lady there who was like, I don't get anything. Like I post and I get 10 impressions. Like what the hell, right? And, so we, like you.
But that's a legit question.
Yeah. Because it's pure frustration, right? Because she's just like, I don't get it. Like how am I missing, right? And so, we did work through some of that with her and tried to help her figure out some pictures and, you know what I mean? But I totally get it, right? I really do. But it's getting started is probably the hardest part. I'd actually like if you're listening to this and you want to get started or you're having trouble getting started, hit us up and we'll help you out and just get you pointed in the right direction. Yeah.
The other one doesn't have a clue, so don't worry about it. The other one's just going to recommend, hey, I know a guy.
I know
a guy in Mississauga, man. I'll hook you up for free.
Yeah, for free. But like hit us up and we'll help you get started. Sometimes this is who we are, right? Is sometimes you just need. You guys run good businesses, amazing businesses, right? But sometimes you just need a point in the right direction, right? Like
I think that's the key for most of these people is mostly that. It's not to get. I mean, this week I've been doing more stuff for a small catering company, and they're not making money, and a large part of it because they're not pricing things properly because there's so many variable costs. But they've under budgeted labor, blah, 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 right? And then they're down and you're thinking, you guys, these are like minor fuck all tweaks. Yeah. This is not rocket science.
Yeah.
The shit you're doing and the fact that people are buying the stuff from you, that's sort of the rocket science. And you've already got that figured out.
Yeah.
The stuff I'm going to help you with is this is not the brain surgeon part of the world.
The magic, right? I'm just,
This is the easy part. I'm going to just tell you, this is what you need to do. This is how we're going to do it. Simple.
Yeah,
You've already done the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
People like your stuff. They're buying it. Now we just need to make sure that we're making some money on it. So can we talk about Satya? So like what she could possibly do.
Yeah.
Because you had to talk with her, right?
I did. Yeah.
She's awesome, right?
She's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I really like her.
Yeah, I really love her.
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So so how do you help someone like that? You can tell the story because you talked to her for a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
So how do you manipulate that La Presse thing?
So last week we talked about a brand called Satya, and it's an eczema cream. that's just amazing. She's doing amazing things with it. Like she's got a her eco footprint is tiny if non-existent. She's got this biodegradable bag that she's able to ship cheaply across the country. Like she's just done all these really cool things. So we didn't quite get that far. Where we got to was she said, look, this La Presse thing made me some money, so I want to be able to do some Facebook ads and things like that. But I'm afraid, is what she said, right? She's like, I don't really know what I'm doing, and like I don't want to go and just chuck money at Facebook. So she added me to her Facebook page, so I had to look at some of her analytics. Like in her case, I think that there are a couple of things there. So I think the first thing for her was, I said to her, you need some video. Like you need a couple of short clips. Some of them, she has some that where she's explaining the product.
Right.
There's one user who did a review, like an unboxing of her product, and did a breakout where it lists her kind of key active ingredients in it. And it's like this really short, the video itself is something like 2.5 minutes long, but she's got a really like 10-second portion where it breaks out like how much jojoba oil there is in it and all this kind of stuff. And I said to her, I go, I think you need to figure out how to do that and run that on Facebook and just test it, right? Because you're getting good, nice engagement. What you need is like compelling content that makes people go, oh shit, those 5 ingredients I'm looking for.
Yeah. My testimonials work in this category.
Yeah, right. And then so you can run that and go, you're interested, hit the shop now button, right? And go. Right. And so I'd said to her, if you can shoot something like that, I'll figure out what your demographics look like and all that kind of stuff. But then I also think, she's an eczema. The part that because we got so excited about writing ads and doing stuff like that we didn't even get to the rest of it. But I think that she's one of those, she's like the book guy, there's a really engaged community that talks about eczema that, dollars to donuts, there's easily, a couple of dozen Facebook groups where they talk about eczema and skincare and all that kind of stuff. So she needs to be there. And so she needs to be in those groups. She needs to like jump in there. I would share the La Presse article in that, those trusted groups, right? And just let it go. So
how do you manipulate the La Presse thing right now, let's say in Quebec? Because I'm sure she told you the sales.
Yeah.
The weekend sales were mind-bending.
They lost their minds.
I mean, she did 200 times her normal week.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
But the same thing though, right? So I would, in that, I would be looking for all of those moms groups, right? So I would be looking for moms groups I would probably hire a bunch of people to jump into any Reddit groups that are looking for eczema. Do you know what I mean? Like if I just sent the article to them and went, hey, saw you know what I mean? Like if we look in Reddit and you see someone with eczema, go, you know what, this might help you. I just saw this article in La Presse.
Well, I'm thinking like it's because it's in French, obviously, because it's a Quebec thing. I would just load up the Quebec sites.
Yeah,
for sure. Go to the Reddit sites. Go to now. You got products on the way.
Yeah.
But I think I would just hammer the hell out of Quebec right now. And again, it was what I was. She was super excited, and she should be. She should be really proud of herself. To be honest, I mean, she's got a cool product.
She's got an amazing product. Yeah.
So
that her year 1 to year 2 sales, she tripled her sales.
That's crazy, man.
Okay, so and so like she was so cavalier. She wasn't cavalier. She was very humble about it, and she just glossed over it, right? But we were talking.
But that's what she is.
And I said to her, "Listen, like, tell me a little bit more, right? I'm so curious," because I told her, like we're an eczema family. We tried, I said to her, like, we are a condition. Like for a little while, for almost 6 months, no. For almost a year, I was driving 90 minutes, kind of northwest to Guelph to buy fresh ground shea butter from the Shea Butter Nut because there was only one guy that did it in Guelph. So I would go and buy it because it was the only thing that worked on my daughter. So I was telling her this story and she was like, oh my gosh, like I got to send you some so you can try this because if that worked for you, this is going to work, right? But I was telling her like, so tell me more. And so she's telling me about that. And she goes, yeah, so year 1 we did X in sales. And then year 2, I did
3x.
this, I did 3x. But she kind of like, here's the number, and then moved on. And I was like, what? Stop.
What?
Year 1 was on. Year 2 was like, are you joking? And she was like, no, and then she just moved on. I was like, no, stop. Like, stop. Just stop her a minute. You just tripled your sales. And like,
these are the applaudable moments.
Like, stop. Like, enjoy it for just 1 second, right? Like,
it's hard though, Phil. And again, because you get lost in the weeds. And I think that's why some people sometimes need to talk to sort of, lack of a better, like sort of other experts.
Yeah.
Because you do get grounded again and you go back and think, you know what? I did 3 times. Shit, man. And I did 3 times and I don't even think I really know what I'm doing. Can you imagine if you put a little knowledge in my hands?
Yeah.
I could do 10x.
I know. It's just...
See, the thing is, if you think about it, your situation, especially in this category, and this is a specific, eczema, psoriasis is not everybody. But the large amount of people that do suffer from, and there's a large amount, are always looking for shit.
Yeah.
Because it's not a fun set. Yeah. There's a lot of harsh molecules that you don't want to use, but the pharmaceuticals, I guess, can work symptomatically, but they're really harsh on the system. There's a lot of snake oil.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of parents that are doing this 90-minute trip, which is freaking ridiculous.
Oh my gosh.
You could sit on your ass at home, which you do, and order online.
Yeah. My house is full of this stuff. Like we finally, like, the kids are like, the girls are 12 and 11, right? And so at 3 and 4 is kind of when eczema really shows up. And so we have cream that, like, it was so bad in the beginning that if someone said this worked for us, we just ordered it. Like, why
wouldn't you? It's hard as a parent to watch your kids being sick.
Yeah.
Right. And stuff like that, when they're basically wanting to rip their arms off practically. That's not.
Yeah.
So
we would just order it. Like we got like $100 creams and like, and you're just kind of like, whatever. And then somebody said, oh, if you mix glycerin and this, so we're mixing,
so
I
now
was
you're
like,
trying those things too, right?
What the hell, right? Like I work at J&J. I'm mixing stuff in my tub, right? Like,
yeah, and you're thinking, I work for J&J. You think these clowns would have something? They got shit.
But they don't, right? Like, sorry, Vito, the eczema cream just doesn't work, right? Like, so I said to her, if you got something, like
I think she's
got to tap it.
I think she's gonna kill it.
Yeah.
I really do. Yeah. First off, the packaging's outstanding.
Yeah.
The pricing is gonna get fixed up.
Yeah.
She's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's a clean product. There's just so many positive attributes. And like you said, I know in a product like that, she can get her testimonial people they'll be more than happy. To stand up, because if your child, especially, it's mostly children, obviously, if your child is stopped suffering, shit, are you kidding me? Like, you are now my best friend.
Yeah. So anyway, so we got pretty excited, and then I said to her, look, first steps is, I hear you want to leverage and try and get some Facebook stuff out. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to help her just clean up her ads and try and get her. You're
going to help her though, right?
Place. Yeah. I'm going to help her with some conversions and try and get her, set up with some proper ads. Good. And then we'll work on, the rest of it, the groups and, everything. But the first thing, I'll get, I was saying to her, let's figure out, you want to run an ad, I'll help you get it set up, right? And then we'll figure it out from there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's cool. That's cool shit, right?
Oh yeah. No, are you kidding? Like, and that stuff's like, I said to her, cause she was kind of like, I could tell that she was trying to figure out, like, cause I didn't say anything about payment or anything. So she was trying to figure out, like, am I supposed to pay him? And I said, no, look, like,
hey, she doesn't pay me. Patrice, if you're listening, you can't pay him. You can't pay him yet. No.
I told her this actually
is free, man.
So you can ask her. I said, this is a Kenny special. You're a friend of Kenny.
You better make sure that
Kenny loves you. I love you.
Exactly.
This one's on the house. I just want to help you, because it's no skin off my nose, right? Like, I know how to build
it's a game.
Facebook ad.
It's another thing to test what you know.
Yeah.
But just so Patrice knows, if you hit it big, like don't forget the two losers that kind of, a little quasi instrumental, maybe quasi.
Yeah.
No, when you meet her, you'll love her. She's fantastic.
Amazing. She's amazing.
I think it's pretty cool. I mean, okay, it's the same thing. See, now you got me thinking.
Yeah.
So now I got to start writing shit down.
Oh no, Kenny's.
Looking at a lot of these things. So like even for the coffee bar. So let's say, the coffee bar to me, I mean, really what you'd want to do is people who love Commercial Drive, people who love Grandview Woodlands, people who love East Van. So tight, little less tight, little less tight.
Yeah.
And then past East Van, I don't want to go because getting into Vancouver North Shore is like someone to have a coffee shop in Mississauga. And assuming that someone from Woodbridge is going to come by.
Yeah.
You could. Yeah. But realistically, you're probably within a mile or two of home. That's where you should be.
Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I gotta
look for that too now. Jesus Christ. So many things to do. I gotta find time to sleep.
We tested a couple of posts today on the coffee bar.
Okay.
And what we did is we tagged both the posts. So we actually geo-tagged them. So we checked in at the bar. It's kind of
at the bar.
So it was kind of weird.
Liar.
But we said, I don't know, I can't remember what the post is, but the posts were both, whatever the post was in Facebook, we actually checked in at the bar.
Well, I got to check now.
Wondering if the location, do you know what I mean? Like, because your location pops up as right away. And so we're hoping to drive a little more. So
which post did you do? Did you do Power Up Your Day?
I think that was one of them.
Where'd you get the picture?
Magical
hot chocolate.
Yeah, they pulled stock pictures.
Guys are so smart.
They are, right? Oh no, I remember. You know what? They snipped it from something you guys had.
Well, because we've probably had that picture. We probably posted it moons ago. I don't care if we repost picture. Picture's a picture.
Yeah.
It's a nice picture. So, and you did it on the bar site?
Yeah.
Coffee site.
And then what we did was we checked.
I saw a coffee picture.
So
you did the mug. That's you.
Yeah.
But you guys did something on maybe you did it on the not the bar, the actual coffee company site.
I think we did something on the bar, on the coffee side too.
I think you did both.
Yeah.
This is really rude. We're talking to our phones, you know that. So you did the while reaching for the coffee, an unknown evil force. That's you.
I don't know actually.
This one. Can you see that?
Oh, that might be us. Wait, is that us? I don't know if that's us. I don't know. I know I checked a bunch of them.
Anyway, you got a few impressions.
Yeah, Fuel Up Your Love was another one we did. So
that's the one. That's Fuel Up Your Love.
Okay, yeah. So what we're trying to do. So one is so the socials are on the coffee brand. Actually, on the bar and the brand. Like your girl's just kind of like she's killing it organically, right? And so what we want to be able to do is
we should let her know that. So that's Rowena.
So Rowena, if you're listening, you're killing it, right? Like it's kind of like you're getting lots of traction. And so what we want to do is throw some gas on the fire. So those posts are kind of like lead posts. If we're testing some hypothesis there, on the bar side, we want to drive a whole bunch more geotags because we think that having the address and the check-ins
is critical.
It's going to drive a whole bunch more attention to why is everyone checking in at the bar? Yeah. And then driving some physical prominence for you. On the other side, with the coffee stuff, we're just testing keyword language so that we can start driving those other, like if you love the brand, click here to buy it. Right. Kind of that stuff. Right. So
I mean, I love the geotagging because if you noticed, Artem, our manager, has gone freaking apeshit, man. I don't know what he's doing, but we got events like fucking everywhere all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So there's an open mic nights.
Yeah.
Which is the cool. Our story lie nights, which is Wednesday nights, which is Joe who does them. She's awesome. She's got a really cool. So you should take a look at that too. Go on Facebook and type in story lie.
Okay.
This girl's awesome.
Okay.
Like she is. She's just fantastic.
Yeah.
But she's got a really cool game show that she's developed in the city, etc. Okay. So they do Wednesday nights at our bar. It's it's almost more, I think, the practice ground sort of for the larger story lie. So that's cool. We've got some music events. We had our politicians tonight trying to explain proportional representation to us on television. And so a group asked, hey, can we use the bar? We want to have a debate night and this and that.
Yeah, bring it on.
I watched it. I didn't go to the bar. I watched it on television.
Yeah.
The beer sales spiked in the bar, thank Christ, because I don't think anybody understood what anybody was trying to tell them.
No.
So awesome. Yeah. Thank you for that. I'm glad politicians have no clue on how to explain things.
That's amazing.
Beer sales, good for wine sales.
Yeah.
As people trying to drown their sorrows in that train wreck.
That's amazing. Yeah.
But he's doing stuff like that. So the bar, so like, again, and I think that's where the geotagging is critical, because where else, do you want to know where this open mic is?
Yeah.
You need to tag.
Yeah.
Well, you got no choice. Where are you going to go with this?
Yeah. If he's able to do it, what would be really cool too is just to get some live footage, like video. Do you know?
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll ask him.
Yeah. Anything he can snip, right? Like 30 seconds, a minute, or if he doesn't know, like have him record a whole bunch and then throw it at us, and then we'll kind of clip it into things that he can use. There's some really neat stuff we can do there. I'm pushing the kids to leverage Instagram stories as well to ask your followers questions.
Perfect.
So we can try and figure out some things there too. So we just got to triangulate on the questions. We'll probably send you a list of things that we want to ask, and make sure that there are things that either you guys don't know yet or you would love to ask too, or if there's things that you want to ask as well. You know what I mean? So
just ask. I mean, even if we know the answer, how do we really know the answer?
Yeah. I hear you.
A lot of times we assume we know shit. We don't really know much of anything.
Yeah. So anyway, kind of lots of stuff going on, and then they are hard at work on drafting. I think they're in Foursquare redrafting your website. They took all the pictures. I sent you. I think I smoked your phone. I sent you like 4 or 5 sets of.
I got these emails, but what's he doing?
Poor Kenny. Earlier this week, so Sarah Carvello, who took these amazing pictures.
Nice pictures, Sarah. Seriously, nice pictures.
Yeah, I started attaching them and sending them Kenny, and then it turned from part 1 to part 2, part 3, part 4.
I think we ended up part 5 or part 6.
I think so.
And all I'm thinking, I'm the techno challenged. Dropbox.
Yeah.
Listen, just so you know, I'll help you a little bit now. There's programs, you can do shit like this. There's this thing called the cloud. You put this shit up in the cloud area, and there you go. Cloud. Go on the internet and look up the cloud.
I know.
Shoot.
I know. It's just I'm the weird one, right? Because I don't use Dropbox. I don't actually like Dropbox. So
I don't like Dropbox either. But at least you can put,
Yeah. I use Google Drive, but I
use that one.
Yeah. All right.
I don't care. I just laughed. I'm thinking, okay, you know what? On this show, every time we talk social, I sound like the simpleton. Yeah. But I'm thinking, you know what? I even know Dropbox.
Come on, Chang. What are you doing at old school for?
Yeah, sure. Go teach these kids how to do shit. You can't even send files on the internet.
I know.
Bacala.
Oh, man.
It's a good thing I love you, man.
Oh, man.
Anywho.
Yeah. It's been.
I got homework.
Anyway, it's been a great week otherwise, so.
Yeah, no, me too. It's been an awesome week.
Yeah.
Awesome week.
All right, that's the end of this Commerce Life. We'll be back soon with the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Subscribe, like us, join us, share us, tell your friends about us. And we hope to see you next time with more commerce news.